These patients had coronavirus more than 6 months ago. To this day, they have not recovered their health.
It was like a switch was flipped and my body was replaced. The healthy one was taken away and I was given a sick one.
Officially, medical experts say they've recovered, but many continue to suffer from the effects of the disease. Before the virus, they were fit and healthy.
I didn't really think that the virus posed a threat to me personally.
The Heiligendamm Clinic is located in northern Germany on the Baltic Sea. 40 patients suffering from long-term complications because of COVID-19 are being treated here. Peggy Graehn is 48 years old and contracted the virus in March. She barely noticed the illness as she had so few symptoms. She's only begun to suffer from the effects of the disease recently.
I only became really ill months later, in June. At the time, I thought that everything would eventually be fine. But things didn't improve. I was extremely ill for many, many weeks, which turned into months, and I never got better.
Located directly by the water, surrounded by salty sea air, the clinic in Heiligendamm is one of 3 in Germany that treats people with corona-related diseases. Peggy Graehn is still struggling with the aftermath of the illness.
My primary symptoms are physical weakness and total exhaustion, body aches and dizziness. I've had this for a very long time, extreme dizziness and poor concentration, and in some cases I have cognitive difficulties. I experienced poor hearing, poor vision, and I couldn't follow conversations well.
Sigrid Straub is 49 years old. Her diagnosis was particularly severe. She barely survived a 3-week coma. Being unable to recall anything of this period in her life is particularly distressing for her.
I'm just traumatized by the fact that I was so seriously ill. And when I woke up from the coma, I had to realize how lucky I was to be alive at all. I feel so different from before the illness, because my muscles are weak from lying down for such a long time. It's taking a lot of effort to rebuild my whole musculature again. So one last time on this machine.
Many post-COVID patients say that doctors aren't taking their symptoms seriously. They're suffering from stigmatization. Peggy Graehn has also experienced this several times.
This is very difficult for doctors to understand when they look at me. I look healthy. Physically, I'm reasonably strong, at least I appear to be. And then you get dismissed very quickly. They say her mind is not okay.
Dr. Jordis Frumhold is the chief physician in the rehabilitation clinic. She's actually a specialist in pulmonary diseases, but she knows that many patients suffer from more than that. Dr. Frumhold meets with Sigrid regularly to discuss her progress. They talk about how Sigrid is responding to various forms of exercise and therapies, how she's adjusting to medication and changes in her sleeping patterns. Sigrid's pulse has fluctuated while she was on an exercise machine, but at the moment, it's nothing to be too concerned about.
It helps to remember that, compared to the rest of the world, Germany already has a very capable rehab system. We have more treatments available to us. The facilities that we have here don't exist in other European countries or the rest of the world. We can do high-quality, medically sound rehabilitation. The most important thing is to recognize the rehab needs of our patients and to match them to the appropriate treatments.
At the moment, Sigrid is on a small dose of medication that appears to be working well for her. And thankfully, her mental health is also improving. She tells Dr. Fromhold that one of the major attractions of the clinic was that patients can meet to discuss how they're all progressing after living with the long-term effects of the disease. Conversations like these are validating because patients can understand and empathize with one another. Sigrid finds it extremely beneficial. Patients have gathered for another session to talk about their experiences.
After 2.5 weeks, I feel like I can breathe more deeply. Has anyone ever explained why it is so difficult for athletic people like us to do things like go up the stairs or uphill, particularly when it comes to going up the stairs? My osteopath explained it to me. When your posture is relaxed, the whole chest area is compressed, so you only breathe in certain areas and not with everything. And we slowly have to learn the correct posture to breathe fully again. I'm getting better at going up the stairs. I used to have to take a break on the 2nd floor. I live on the 3rd floor. And now I can get there without taking a break. At a snail's pace, but so what? How were your hearing and cognitive abilities affected? Not so good, really. I baked my husband's birthday cake during the summer with only half of the required ingredients. I wondered why the cake didn't rise. There was nothing in it, maybe half of what was needed. And I'm very experienced. I bake cakes every weekend. That's just an example. I've also been experiencing extreme bouts of dizziness. I've had vertigo for months. I was even dizzy in bed. I think we will have to accept that there will be ups and downs for a while. Our journey is far from over. I'm not afraid, but I still have this question in my head. Will I ever be the same again? It's always there. So that's my greatest wish, to become more mentally stable again. This is where I inhale. I ingest the saline solution for 10 minutes almost every day, and it loosens the mucous membranes in the respiratory tract, which makes it easier to cough up when I'm done. It feels like clearing my throat. That breaks up the mucus more easily, so to speak. It feels good.
The patients' families are not allowed to visit the clinic for hygienic reasons. So Sigrid Straub calls her family regularly. Only her daughter is home today. Sigrid tells her about the agenda for the week: aquatic exercises, breathing exercises, and functional training. She learns that the weather is nice on the Baltic Sea, but back at home, life continues as it normally would. Her daughter's father is out riding his bicycle. Sigrid's kids are going to school and preparing for their exams, while they wait for their mother to get better. Despite being in the best of care, It's difficult being away from home. Peggy Graehn has been in Heiligendamm for 2 weeks. Her therapy will last for 3 more. Her goal? To be able to get back to her daily life again.
You live your life, 5 days at work, a weekend and so on. My life might be more intense than it was before. On the one hand, I would like it to be like it was before. On the other hand, the world is just falling apart because of the pandemic right now. At the moment, life is dramatically different for everyone. And maybe I can still manage to get a lot done. I'm sure that my recovery will allow me to. I think I will be a different person than I was before, but that's okay. My view on life has changed a lot because of this terrible illness. A near-death experience changes your perspective a lot and makes you appreciate the simple things in life. Family and friends are very, very important, and so is health. It may sound mundane to others, but stay healthy. When you've been so close to death, you learn to appreciate life on a completely different level, and you begin to value the importance of family and friends even more. I believe that I will carry around this year's experiences with me forever. I can't imagine how you could just forget something like this. But I hope that these negative experiences, which are still weighing heavily on me, will fade with time, and eventually that more positive things will replace them. I am still alive, I'm still here, and I can still enjoy life.